Hello, everyone. So, the topic for the video today was I was actually going to do this on Friday, but we had some internet issues here where I'm living. But I'm sure many of you will maybe going out to Halloween parties tonight. I am actually, although I'm not a huge fan, I have to say, of like all the scary costumes and things like that. So, I'll be going as a cat. Um, but the topic for the video is a statement by a client. She recalling her narcissistic father actually. She said, he came to life at parties. Um, it was like he was a totally different person to who he was at home. So today's topic is partying with the narcissistic person in your life. So there you are. Perhaps you're getting ready right now for your Halloween party tonight. But there is a narcissistic person in your life at present, whether you're still living with parents or you have a partner, or there are going to be some friends at the party who you know are narcissistic. So often, if you are living with a narcissistic person, the build up to the party can be quite a stressful experience. The reason for this is that parties, particularly, are a supply extravaganza for a narcissistic person. And there's a great pressure uh, in them to ensure that they will be able to get the supply they're wanting. Now, the supply they're wanting, and we know what supply is, it's attention. They've got to get attention. So if you're, putting on a costume, trying to get it together, they've got to have one that's going to make them stand out somehow or be the coolest or, that sort of thing. And often what can happen is because they're feeling quite stressed out or even quite excited about a party, the narcissist can try to sort of bring a sense of spoiling it for others before you get there. So there may be sort of some negativity in the air, or even some sort of aggressiveness before the event, which may just be sort of like a building up of this tension before going. So when you arrive with your narcissistic partner, uh, it can be quite illuminating because it can often feel like you arrive, everyone gives you their attention, and the narcissist may go off then and almost leave you while they go to mingle with the cool kids, almost as if you don't exist anymore. And actually, you don't, because this party is all about them. And it's all about them mixing with the right type of people. And it can be quite painful, this for the partner. It's almost like you've just been dumped because you don't fit in. Um, Now, many of my clients have recalled to me, at parties with narcissistic parents, especially mothers and daughters, how mothers would quite often compete for attention over their daughters, whether that be from, eligible males or even younger friends and women. The mother would have to ensure that she was the one who knew the songs and the words to the songs, the trendy songs, or she'd have to know sort of the dance moves and be strutting them in front of her daughter, or being loud and drawing attention to herself and, being the biggest one on the dance floor. um, Almost as if, every song is about her. Um, And of course, what is all of this about, whether it's a parent or a partner or a friend? It's all about maintaining this false self because the narcissist believes that the false self is the means of gaining the supply that they need, getting that attention. They have to keep up this false self at any cost. But the thing is, for those around them, if they're not narcissistic themselves, it feels fake. It feels like a show. And granted, look, it can be quite endearing. They can be larger than life, and they can be the life and soul of the party. However, it's a fake life and soul of the party. It's all about getting their needs met for attention and boosting their self-esteem. And for those who are HSP or empathic types, you can sort of pick up on this a bit, and it can leave you feeling a bit exhausted. Another thing that might happen is, the narcissistic person may, at different points during the evening, sort of give you a bit of a glance, as if to say, gosh, you're so uncool, or don't do that. That's why are you standing up now? They can also be sort of a blaming you if they're not getting the attention they need. So sort of putting you down and saying it's all your fault that they haven't been able to get the attention they needed. And when it comes to the end of the night, what can often happen is the narcissistic person will not be the one who calls it a night. Usually, they'll wait for you to do it so that they can sort of be, oh, you want to go now? Oh, so you're left being the sort of party pooper. And not them, because they've got to stay till the bitter end so that they can be seen as the biggest socialite ever and the party animal. Sometimes it can descend into them seeking negative attention, to over drinking, becoming loud and leery. They may have be flirting with women, or you name it, or women might be flirting with men in front of their partners. It can be very desperate sometimes, this need for supply. And we know that narcissists, well, there's differing opinions on this. Some say that narcissists are very low in self-esteem at the core, others say they are high. I'm kind of the persuasion that they're low in self-esteem and needing to sort of hide that behind the false self. So if they're low in self-esteem and they're not getting the supply they need, well, there's the tendency then to try to escape it in alcohol or drugs, or whatever else is available. So there we have it. Just a bit of a light-hearted take on partying with your narcissist. And I do use that word. I'm trying to think myself how to use that word, because I don't, everyone's calling everyone a narcissist, often just because they don't like the person these days. So I think I'm trying to veer more towards saying the narcissistic person. Maybe the highly narcissistic person would be appropriate, because I think, none of us can really diagnose just by seeing somebody. Anyway, I hope you have a great evening if you're out tonight. If you're not, doesn't matter. And I shall see you next week for some more videos on the highly narcissistic person and their impact on your life. Take care, everybody. Bye now.